Hello my dear children, welcome back to English class. Today we are going to continue the prose which we started in our last class. Do you remember the name of the prose? It is The Portrait of a Lady, written by Khushwant Singh. So here you can see the picture of Khushwant Singh. He was a Punjabi and here you can see the turban also on his head. Okay. So before we start the lesson, let's have a small recap. So here is the description of the grandmother and the grandfather given by the author. So do you remember how the grandmother looked? She was very old, she was short, little plump, she was fat, and she had a stooping body. Stooping means bending. And she had a lot of wrinkles all over her face, crisscross wrinkles as the author says. And she had white hair and she always hobbled, H-O-B-B-L-E-D. What does that mean? Hobble means to walk awkwardly. So since she was very old, she hobbled inside the house wearing white clothes, only pure, spotless white clothes she used to wear. And she had one hand on her waist to balance her stoop, and the other hand she had rosary beads with which she always used to pray. Her lips were always busy in chanting mantras and prayers. And this picture of the grandmother, the author compares his grandmother with a beautiful landscape of mountain during winter season. So the author says that the grandmother was very peaceful and charming, and whereas the grandfather, well, the grandfather was not alive. Physically, he was not present inside the house. Only his portrait was hung on the wall in the drawing room. Okay, drawing room means the room where you invite your guests. Okay, where you escort your guests and make them sit on sofa. Right. So that hall, that room is called drawing room. So in the drawing room, there was a portrait hung on the wall, and the grandfather was looking very, very old. And it was, very difficult to believe that he had wife and children. Rather, it was very easy to believe that he had lots and lots of grandchildren, because that much old he was. And he had a big turban. As I already told you, that the family belonged to a Punjabi clan, Punjabi group. So they used to wear it. It is a ritual, it's a custom to wear turbans. Okay, so he wore a very big turban and he had a very long white beard, and he was wearing loose fitted clothes. Alright, so this is the description of the grandmother and the grandfather described by the author. And this we have already seen, so I'll just recall. So you already know that Khushwant Singh, he spent his early childhood with his lovable grandmother in a small village of Punjab. Okay, and his parents were living in the city. They went there to earn a living. All right. And the author's grandmother, she was very, very old, as we already know. She was also very religious. Why? Because she always used to chant mantras and she used to sing only the songs of God. Okay, and she always had the rosary beads in her hand. So here you can see the picture of a hand carrying a rosary bead. Okay, so the grandmother also, she used to tell the rosary beads, and the author, he shared a very close bonding with his grandmother and they became very good friends. Okay, so they were the very good friends of each other. They were like, best friends. And this grandmother, when she was living with her grandson in the village, she used to wake him up and she used to dress him up and accompanied him to the school. And where was the school? The school was attached to a small village temple. Okay, so there the grandmother used to take the grandson, the author, and after leaving him inside the school, she also used to go and sit in the temple, and there she used to read the scriptures in the temple, right? And in the school, who was the teacher? The priest was the teacher. So the priest was playing the dual role, and in the temple he was a priest and in the school he was a teacher. So along with the lessons, along with the subjects, he also used to teach them scriptures, okay, the things related to God. So grandmother, she loved all these things and she loved to accompany him to the school. Not only these children, she also fed the dogs. Do you remember the stale chapatis, the remaining chapatis, the leftover chapatis? She used to give one chapati to the grandson, to the author, spreading butter and sugar on it, and the remaining chapatis she used to pack for the street dogs. All right. And after the parents they got settled in the city, they sent for the grandson and the grandmother. So when they were called, they went to the city, and after coming to the city, this point was a turning point in their friendship. Now let's see what happened after they went to the. Now they came to the city, and Khushwant Singh, he started going to an English medium school. In the village, it was not an English medium school, but in the city, it was an English medium school. And the author, he traveled in a motor bus. Okay, so a motor bus was arranged for him. So the grandmother was no longer she accompanied him to the school. Why? Because the author was not going on foot. He was going in a motor bus. All right. So there he learnt a lot of English, because it was English medium school. So English, lot of English he learnt. All the subjects were in English, and so many topics of Western sciences like gravity of law of gravity and Archimedes principles. All these kinds of sciences also he started learning. So whenever the author came home after the school, the grandmother used to ask him about what he studied that day, and the grandson, the author, always used to say that he learned law of gravity, he learned Archimedes principle. So all these things were really disturbing the grandmother. Why? Because she didn't know the language. She didn't know what the author was telling, because everything was in English. Alright, so she couldn't understand anything. So that really made her upset and very, very sad. And because of that, she was not able to help her grandson in his homework also. But however, they nevertheless, they shared the same room. They were still staying in the same room. Okay. And after that, when the author, he went to the university, he was given a separate room. Okay. So what happened? The only link of friendship was snapped. Snapped means broken. So the only link of friendship. So what was the only link of friendship remaining in their relationship? Sharing the common room, and now even that was broken, even that was snapped, even that was snatched away from them. Okay, so the grandmother and the grandson, they were living in two different rooms, and after that they, very rare they saw of each other, and they didn't speak to each other. Okay, because there was no common topic to be spoken about. And the grandmother, to keep herself busy, she of course the prayers were always there, but instead of feeding dogs here, she started feeding the sparrows, and she always used to sit on the spinning wheel. So spinning, sorry, there's a spelling mistake, it is spinning, spinning the wheel. Okay, so here you can see the picture of an old lady. She's sitting at the spinning wheel, and she's spinning the wheel, she's spinning the yarn. Okay, so this is called spinning wheel, children. So she kept herself busy, and from the sunrise till the sunset, the grandmother always used to sit at the spinning wheel, and only during afternoon, just for half an hour, she used to feed the sparrows. And that half an hour was the most beautiful and most cherishable moment for the grandmother. And now, children, after so many years, the author, he got a chance to travel abroad for his higher studies, for his further studies, and he was really worried to tell his grandmother about this. Why? Because the grandmother was really, really old, and this grandson, the author, he didn't know how to convince the grandmother, because the course of study was of 5 years. Okay, so he was very much worried to convince her, to tell her that he was going to stay away from her for 5 years, for 5 long years, right? But anyhow, he told her, and to the contrary, The grandmother, she didn't show any kind of emotion. Okay, she was not at all sentimental. She didn't cry, and you will be surprised to know that she went to the railway station to send him off, okay, to tell him bye, so to give him farewell. So she became a little strong, and she didn't talk anything, she didn't show any kind of emotion to him. She just held his head and kissed on his forehead, and the author, he really cherished that moment. Okay, he really cherished the moisture of her hand, the moisture of her kiss on his forehead. All right, so this was memorable, and he really thought that this could be the last contact with his grandmother, because no one could tell about her age. Yes or no? She was very, very old, and 5 long years, nobody could tell whether she would be alive or dead when the grandson returned. So this kind of, mixed emotions and mixed kind of feelings were running inside the author. But nevertheless, he cherished that moment. He loved his grandmother. He was filled with emotions. All right. But when the author came after 5 years, the same grandmother was at the same station, and she was looking unchanged. Okay, she did not look even a single day older. So எப்படி விட்டுட்டு போனாரோ அதே மாதிரி இருந்தாங்க grandmother. She was not looking older. All right. And in the evening, after coming home in the evening, the grandmother, she looked very, very different. Okay, she looked very strange, very unusual. She turned. Okay, what she did, she collected so many women from the neighborhood. She called them home, and she started beating the old drum. Okay, and she started singing songs of great warriors, okay, homecoming warriors. So since the grandson came from abroad, she called the women, and she started beating the drum, and she started singing loudly songs of the homecoming warriors. All right. So the author and the other family members, they were very much worried about the grandmother. Why? Because she was already very old, and singing with such loud voice and overstraining could be very, very risky for her health. Okay, she was senile, senile, senile. Senile means weak and old. So she was so weak and old, she was senile, and the family was very much worried. So they protested. Okay, they stopped her from singing so loud, but she didn't listen to anybody, and she kept on singing. All right, and as a result, what happened? The next morning, she fell ill. Okay, she got mild fever. Right, and the doctor was called, and he diagnosed her, and he said that it was just a mild fever, and that would go after some pills and tablets were given. But this grandmother, she thought differently. Okay, what she thought? She thought that her end was near. She thought that she was going to die. All right, and since she knew that she was going to die, she stopped talking to the family members, and again she started praying. She took her rosary beads in her hands, and she started praying. She started chanting mantras. All right, and the family members, again, they tried to stop her, but she didn't stop, because she felt that she should be, she should stay connected with the God, with the divine power, through her prayers, because lifelong what she had been doing, she had been only praying to God. Okay, so at the last moment of life, she didn't want to lose her connection with God, so she kept on praying. After some time, what happened? Her lips stopped its movement, and the rosary beads fell down from her lifeless fingers, and everybody knew in the family that she was dead. There was silence everywhere, and as a Customary means ritual, as a rule. Okay, they brought the grandmother's body on the floor, they kept it down, and they wrapped the body with a red color shroud. Shroud, S-H-R-O-U-D. S-H-R-O-U-D. Shroud means a cloth used to cover the dead body. So they wrapped her body in red color shroud and they kept the body on the floor. And people started coming, they started visiting and paying tribute to the grandmother, and they started grieving, they started crying. And you won't believe, children, thousands of birds, the sparrows, they assembled inside the house. They were sitting near the grandmother's body. They were, all surrounded. They were all sitting around the grandmother, their dead friend, okay, their lovable friend, and they sat very quietly. And the mother of the author, she felt very pity on these birds. She felt very sad for them. She brought some bread from the kitchen. She cut them into pieces and she put that to the birds. But these birds, they never ate even a single piece of bread. Okay, and they were just sitting there quietly, and they mourned on her death. And when the grandmother's body was taken for the cremation is the last rituals, okay, the last rites after death, the funeral. So when the body was taken out, these sparrows also flew away silently. And the bread pieces were still there on the floor. And the next morning, a sweeper came and she swept all the breadcrumbs and put them in the dustbin. So here the story ends, children. Now, why do you think the birds, they came and they sat silently and they didn't eat even a single piece of bread? Don't you feel that it was a tribute to their lovable dead friend? Exactly. So the birds, they were paying tribute, they were showing their respect, they were mourning. Mourning means grieving, okay? Mourning means showing grief. So they were silent. None of the bird was chirping, none of the bird was making any kind of sound. So they paid a tribute from their side to their dead friend. Alright, children? So this is the story. A small picture here, 3 phases of the author's life with the grandmother. So as I already told you in the first video, that in this story there are 3 phases. Okay, so the first phase was in village, second phase in the city, and the third phase was after the author's return from abroad. Okay, so in the village, the author lived with grandmother. Stale chapati he used to have in the morning, and he went to village school, and he also learned scriptures, and he also fed the dogs. In the city, there was a gap in their relationship. Okay, it was a turning point in their relationship. Why? Because he started going to an English medium school. He went to school in the motor bus, and in the school he learned only English and Western science, and also music, which was disliked very strongly by the grandmother. She was feeling very distressful and disturbed when she came to know that the grandson started learning music, because according to her, music was meant only for the beggars and not for the people of decent families. All right, so the grandmother here, instead of dogs, she started feeding the sparrows, and also she started spinning the wheel. Right, and in the third phase, when the author, he returned from abroad. Why he went to the abroad? For his higher studies. Okay, and when he came from abroad, he was so happy to see his grandmother again, because while leaving he was not sure whether he would see her again or not. And but when he saw, he was feeling very happy. And in the evening there was a change over the grandmother. Why? Because she started singing loud songs. She started calling her friends from her neighborhood, and she started beating the old drum and singing the song of Homecoming Warriors. Okay, and this was very unusual, and suddenly she fell ill, and the next after a few hours she died, she passed away. And the sparrows whom she fed, they also paid tribute. They came and they sat around her body and they paid tribute to her. They showed their respect to the grandmother. Okay, children. So here you can see the picture of old drum. The left side you can see a drum, and the right side you can see some women playing the drum and singing. All right. And here is a spinning wheel. So here you can see a woman sitting at the spinning wheel, and here the right side, Gandhiji, he is also sitting at the spinning wheel. Okay, this is very famous. So Gandhiji you might have seen many pictures. And here feeding the sparrows. This, feeding the sparrow was the most cherishable moment of the grandmother in the whole day. So the sparrows were also very friendly to the grandmother. Some sparrows they used to sit very near her. Some sparrows they used to sit on her lap also, and some even on her shoulders, and a few on her head. Alright, so that much close bonding she had with the sparrows. Even when she died, thousands of sparrows they came and they paid tribute to her. Alright, children, so this is the story. And what is the theme of the story, children? Now you understood the story. What is the main theme of the story? The main theme of the story, don't you feel that it is about human relationships? Here the beautiful relationship between the grandmother and the grandson is shown, and how this relationship changed when they shifted to the city. Okay, it was a turning point to their friendship. In the village they had a very close bonding, but when they came to city, the relationship entirely changed. Yes or no? Very less of each other they saw, very less they spoke to each other. So everything got changed, right, as the time passed. And what else is a theme? So don't you feel that there is a relationship not only between the human beings but also between the human and the animals? Okay, so the grandmother, she shared a beautiful relationship with the dogs in the village and with the sparrows in the city. All right. And yes, children, so this is the main theme, the human relationship in the story. Actually, it is not a story, it is a real life account. Okay, it is a real life, it is a small part of the author's autobiography. Okay. Yes, children, so this is all, and very soon you will get your worksheets. Please do it sincerely and submit your notebooks. Thank you, children.